Karen from County Fairgrounds USA, countyfairgrounds.net. Welcome to today's podcast.
Hi, Mark. This is Karen from County Fairgrounds in Denver. I understand that you have a state fair coming up.
We do, Karen. Coming up really quick. Kick the whole thing off next Thursday.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the history of the Missouri State Fair, please.
Wow, Missouri State Fair. The first fair was in 1901. This is going to be the 117th Missouri State Fair. We actually missed 2 years during 1942 and 43 during the war. But since then, it's been consistent every year right here in Sedalia, Missouri. And we run 11 days a year. This year it runs August 8th through the 18th. And our theme this year is Come Home.
That sounds good. So give me a little bit of a synopsis about what is old and great and what is new and great.
Well, there again, it's a fairly old facility. Our Coliseum here was built in 1906. We have what we refer to as the historic row up on the main drag, State Fair Boulevard, and we have about over 40 buildings that are on the State Historical Register. Some really neat architecture. The Women's Building, a few of those have been around for a long time, are really, really neat buildings, and the state's been really good about helping us keep those up, so that's really important. But, overall, it's a really awesome facility out here in Pettis County here in Missouri.
Okay, one of my main concerns as a senior is the parking situation. Can you want to tell us a little bit about your parking?
Well, parking is free at the Missouri State Fairgrounds. We do offer $5 parking. We work with one of the local Lions clubs to do that. They kind of handle that part of that, and we kind of share the profits. It does allow you to park a little closer to the gates, but we run a shuttle service or a tram service to the parking lots also that will bring you right up to the gates. Once on the fairgrounds in the facility itself, we do run trams throughout the facility during the day. So as a senior citizen, a person is able to get a sticker, and you get to ride for free. So if you're over 60 years old, you get to ride for free around the fairgrounds. So we work pretty hard to try to accommodate that. Our fairgrounds is not completely flat, so there are some a little more, areas that require a little more effort to walk up and down. It's not dramatic, but it is not perfectly flat. So we try to accommodate that with folks throughout the summer. Of course, here in Missouri, we have our summer heat and humidity, so it can get quite warm sometimes.
Okay, well, as a senior, I appreciate what you just said. Yeah. All right, let's talk about kids under 12. What have you got for kids under 12?
$1 admission, 6 to 12, and then under 6 is so 5 and under is free every day. We have Wade shows, our carnival here on the fairgrounds. They do a great job accommodating the younger folks, that 12 and under and the smaller kids, so we have a lot of rides for them also. We have our own kids stage here on the State Fairgrounds where it's really geared just towards our smaller, younger folks. We obviously work real close with McDonald's, who's a big sponsor here at the fair, and they provide some of the entertainment that goes there. So we have a lot of acts throughout the day that are really geared towards our younger folks. We also have a facility here on the building or on the fairgrounds. It's our Family Fun Center, and it is really geared even towards the smallest of our fair folks, which are young children, babies. We have a nursing area in there. We have a baby changing station. All that stuff is provided by Walmart, all the supplies for that. And the building itself is air conditioned and filled with all kinds of miniaturized settings for the little kids to play on. So it's a miniaturized general store, a miniaturized creek that runs through the facility. I mean, it's just really set up, geared towards letting mom and dad sit down and cool off and the kids being able to entertain themselves.
Okay. A lot of the state fairs have grounds entertainment. Do you have any grounds entertainment, kind of entertainers that walk the state fair?
We do. We have strolling acts on the fairgrounds that will be will be out strolling each day of the fair, for all 11 days. The state fair here, we spend about $300,000 each year on free entertainment that you get to see just for the cost of admission. So we have everything from jugglers and ventriloquists to ragtime music, which is kind of a Missouri staple, I guess. And so there's a lot of free entertainment that kind of meets all the different genres of music that that a person might want to see. So everything from a little bit higher level entertainment in the bud stage to free entertainment at the other facilities. And I think we have 5 free stages here on the fairgrounds. So a lot of places on the facility. As you walk around, you'll hear music playing, or you'll get to sit down and listen to a comedian or something that's give you a chance to sit down and rest a little bit and cool off and enjoy some free entertainment.
Okay, Mr. Mark, director person, I'm going to ask you once again, what's the most new exciting thing at this fair?
The most new exciting thing at the fair? Well, gosh, we always kind of refer to those things as our wow factor for the year. I can tell you that this year the Budweiser Clydesdale team will be here all 11 days of the fair. They'll be parading the fairgrounds each day. So their setup is just really a beautiful setup, and it's an opportunity for folks to go down and get pictures with these horses. So that's a great thing when we get the opportunity to get them here. I think the last time was in 2015, so it's been a while. We have those things that you got to have at the state fair. We've got our pig races. We got the best of Missouri agriculture in terms of livestock with our 4-H and FFA kids. So I always tell folks, you want to see what a $30,000 steer looks like, just come to the Sale of Champions on the last Saturday, and you can see that. And so there are those things that are just part of what we do to promote agriculture and support agriculture in our state. But at the same time, there are those things that folks just expect to see, whether it's a pig races or the foot-long corn dog or whatever it may be.
Do you have a printed schedule that people can get?
We do. As a matter of fact, if you come to the fair each day, we hand out a daily guide that provides all the lineup for that day, and I think it does 2 days. So I think it's the day you arrive plus the next day that shows it has a map of the fairgrounds in it. It has the daily schedules for all the different shows, what time they start, where they're located. We have brochures that we print about somewhere around 600,000 of those that are handed out to our partners around the state, so you can find them in break time convenience stores, Orscheln Farm and Home stores, Menard stores, places like that all over the state.
All right, so if you were coming to this fair for the first time, what would you do when you first come in the gate? What would you suggest?
Well, if it was me, it's especially the first day of the fair, it's that foot-long corn dog. Got to go get that. I wait all year long for my foot-long corn dog. So once I have that, then I think that, for me as growing up on a farm and raising cattle and being around some dairy and hogs and things like that, I love to go watch the kids that, exhibit. I think that's probably the neatest part, is watching these little kids get out there and exhibit their goat and their sheep and their steer. And I always enjoy that. We got a great lineup at our grandstand concert venue here on the fairgrounds. So if you're into that, you can certainly get tickets to go see a top of the line country music or rock act over at our grandstand. Okay, you want to talk a little bit about how many stages you have with grandstand? What's in the grandstand this year? Our grandstand this year, we open, as I said earlier, the next Thursday, August 8th, is opening day. We got Dwight Yoakam in the grandstand. Friday night's the Struts, which is a European rock band. The first Saturday, August 10th, is Brantley Gilbert. We have 2 days of tractor pulls. On Sunday is the Missouri State Fair Shootout, which is all the Missouri associations of truck and tractor pullers. And then on Monday, August 12th, we have the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League coming in. On next Tuesday, we'll switch, or that following Tuesday, we'll switch back to concerts. We've got Chicks with Hits, which is Terry Clark, Pam Tillis, and Susie Bogus. Wednesday, August 14th, we got Tyler Childers and Brent Cobb. Thursday, August 15th, is our Christian night here on the fairgrounds, and we have For King and Country with Matt Marr. The last Friday, we have Classic Rock with Foreigner and Night Ranger, and the last Saturday is Brothers Osborne's and Ashley McBride. And then we always wrap up on the final Sunday of the fair with our ASCS National Sprint Cars. Okay, let's talk a minute about fair food. So you've told me that you like that foot-long, what is it again? The foot-long corn dog. Well, it's on a stick, so you can grab it and go. That's that's a pretty good-sized corn dog, Mark. It is. It's a meal, It's a meal in itself. All right, so what kind of food do you have? Do you have healthy food, too? We do. We have the Department of Ag kind of sponsors our bistro here on the fairgrounds. It's in the youth dining building, or youth dining hall in the youth building here on the fairgrounds. We actually have a chef. The University of Missouri's culinary school is one heading that up this year, and opportunity to go in there and have a lot of healthy foods. They do an awesome job. If you want to avoid some of the maybe the little I hate to say fatter, but I guess fattier foods that you might find around. It's not deep fried. Great place to go in there in an air conditioned building, sit down. They've got awesome food in there. We've got the Missouri Cattlemen in the Missouri Beef House. We have the Missouri pork producers in the pork place here that provide great meals. And then obviously, our portable concessionaires around the fairgrounds that provide all those things that you think about as when you go to the fair. It's a funnel cake, it's the foot-long corn dogs and all those things. So wide variety of food, just about anything you can think of, whether it's fair-type food or those things that you just like for, that you eat at home with the pork and the potato and the things like that. So wide variety.
And I would take it that there's plenty of places to sit down and plenty of restrooms, right?
There are, always wonder about restrooms. I honestly believe you just can't have enough restrooms, That's always a challenge when you have this many people on the grounds, but we have a full-time janitorial crew that stays at every restroom on the facility all day long, and all they do is take care of those restrooms, making sure they're clean and stocked. So we work really hard to provide that service to folks and make it as clean as we possibly can all the time. So that's a challenging thing to do, but I'm sure most facilities struggle with that at times. Just having enough. But we could always probably use more of those kinds of things.
What hours is the carnival open?
Well, during the week, the carnival is open from 1 to usually about 11 or 12, depending on the crowd. On the weekends, they open at noon and go till 1 a.m.
All right. And I take it that they have a lot of kids' rides, right? For kids
we do have
12?
a lot of kids' rides. Obviously, when it comes to carnival rides, there are height requirements for certain rides, so that does call out some of the really small and some of the bigger, the really small folks on some of the rides. But we try to work in as many of the small kiddie rides, as they refer to them, as we can, and try to have some kind of a balance in there for the folks that are a little older and want a little more of a thrill ride,
I don't know what else to ask you. Is there anything you think that we haven't covered?
Well, I always just tell folks when you talk about coming to the State Fair of Missouri is go to our website. MoStateFair.com is a great source for all the information, anything having to do with State Fair here in Missouri. You can find out where to buy things in advance, how to save some money in advance, what the shows are, what our lineups look like, and what days you want to choose to be here. So I think that's a great resource for folks if you're planning a trip to the State Fair here in 2019.
Okay, Mark, I want to ask you a little bit about the Missouri State Fairgrounds has other events during the year, do they not? Do you know what's coming up after the state? Do you know what's coming up after the State Fair?
Oh gosh, we do. We always refer to any event other than things going on during the 11 days of the annual fair. Any other event happens on the fairgrounds is an event day. We average somewhere around 450 event days a year, not counting what goes on during the 11 days of the state fair. So our facility gets rented a lot. We have everything from wedding receptions to weddings occasionally. A lot of cattle shows, horse shows, camping RVs. We have about 2,000 full hookup RV sites here on our fairgrounds, so we're very fortunate. Most of that is 50 amp now, and the rest of that will be completed before next year as far as 50 amp upgrades. So we're really, really pleased with that. So our facility gets used a lot, and I think that's really important. It helps us keep things working. We're in these buildings all the time, so we know if there's issues with the building. I think it just works better than them sitting here waiting to be used once a year.
Okay. Well, is there anything you want to add?
Oh gosh, we can talk about just about anything. I think we got one really cool event I'd like to mention, if that's okay, that we're doing.
Sure.
This is going to be, I'm thinking about the 7th or 8th year of our food drive. We started this out just an in-house thing that we started doing on the Tuesday of the fair. We called it Food Drive Tuesday about 7 or 8 years ago. And what we did was trade canned food items for $1 off admission. So our admission at that time was $8 for an adult. So if you came and brought 4 canned food items, you got $4 off. We did that for a couple of years, and we would raise, 10 to 12,000 pounds of canned food each year. Then we got hooked up with Missouri Farmers Care Organization and the Missouri FFA, and we turned it into what we call our Drive to Feed Kids. And I can tell you that last year we packed over 100,000 meals for kids to take home on the weekends. We brought in about 19,000 pounds of canned food at the gate, and we packed another 2,000 backpack meals, buddy packs, and raised $160,000 in cash, and all this went to the Missouri Food Bank. So it has turned into a huge event, great opportunity for obviously for our FFA kids, our 4-H kids that get involved with that. But what a great way for an ag fair and the ag community to give back to folks that are a little bit less fortunate than the rest of us. So it's just turned into a really huge event. I think this year we have over 700 FFA kids coming to pack meals. So. They always want to break that record, and I think last year there were about 110,000 meals that they packed. So I don't even know what the goal is this year, 150,000 maybe. But it's just a really neat event, and it's just really speaks for what Missouri State Fair and Missouri agriculture is all about.
Sounds like a great time. So what time do you officially open on the 8th?
We will open up the gates at 7 a.m. on Thursday, August 8th, and be up there to welcome to the 117th version of the Missouri State Fair.
That's really early. Are you there all during the whole fair?
You know, I don't even go home. I actually move in onto the fairgrounds this weekend, and I won't be home till August 19th. So I'll be away from home for a while.
Are you trying to tell me you have some disasters during the fair?
Oh, you know, we it's Missouri, so we usually have our thunderstorms or something like that messes up a 10 or 2. But we've been very fortunate the last 10 years or so. We had one really severe storm. I guess it was about 8 years ago. We had some 85-mile-an-hour winds, which was pretty hard on some of the tents. We had a lot of debris to pick up. The city was without power for a while, but we were able to had a lot of volunteers. National Guard even came into town and helped us clean up. And by that next evening, we had power back on and had our concert, and we're up and going again. So, we just kind of always plan for the worst in weather and hope for the best. That's about all you can do when you have an outside venue like a fair,
Okay, Mark, it sounds great. I hope you have a great fair. Thank you for the interview.
You bet. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for talking.
Bye-bye.